What we are calling a hinge is just a point in a sequence of teaching when you need to check if your students are ready to move on, and if yes, in which direction. The hinge point question is simply the question you ask your students when you reach the hinge. It's a diagnostic question, and the responses to the question give you evidence about what you and your students need to do next. For example, a primary school teacher had been teaching a class about lines of symmetry, and to check the class's understanding, she displayed 6 polygons labelled A to F. And for each one, she asked the class to indicate by finger voting how many lines of symmetry the shape has. From the responses, the teacher could quickly gauge the level of understanding of the whole class and also easily identify which students were struggling.
I'd like you to have a little think to yourselves. I don't want you to talk about this with anyone in the room. I'd like you to do this individually. On your tables, you should all have some ABCD cards in front of you. You just want to get one ABCD card each. So I've placed my egg with a partially permeable membrane into some golden syrup. Now it's really important that you understand the golden syrup has a very high concentration of solute, of sugar. Okay, so therefore a lower concentration of water. It's higher concentration of solute than inside the egg. There is solute inside the egg, but it is not as highly concentrated as the solute that is surrounding it. I'd like you to go and have a think to yourselves and give you about 30 seconds just to think. Just keep your cards down for the moment. What do you think will happen? So read the question carefully, and what do you think would happen if I left it for 24 hours? Okay, if you all want to vote now, hold your cards up nice and clearly so I can see them. So everybody hold your cards up. Okay, you've got a nice spread of different ideas around there. Now, frustratingly, I'm not going to tell you the answer right now. I'm going to tell you the answer in a few minutes, okay? I have got one second question for you though. I'm interested to know why you chose that answer. Okay, so again, 30 seconds or so to go and read through the question, and don't talk to me about it for this particular instance. I just want you to think about what the answer is and ready to share your response. Why do you think you chose your answer to the first question? Okay, if you want to hold your cards up, 3, 2, 1, and show. Big on, guys.
This time I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to give you a question. You have stickers in front of you, so you're going to take your sticker off the sheet when I finish talking. And you're going to write the letter of the answer that you think is the most likely answer on your sticker. You are not going to show anybody else what you are writing, because it's really important that I know what you think and not what your partner thinks. Okay? You can choose more than one answer. So whichever one of these you think is correct, you write A, B, C or D. But if you think 2 of them are correct, it's okay to put A, B or A, C or C, D or whatever you want. You can choose more than one statement, depending on what you think is correct. Do keep it a secret and do write it in whiteboard pen so that I can see immediately what it is that you've chosen, because in pencil I won't be able to see it, it won't show up. So let me read it to you. Let me read it to you first before you start thinking. On islands where nuts were the main food source, birds with shorter beaks were more likely to be found because A. Shorter beaks are stronger than longer beaks and so better at picking up nuts. B. Shorter beak finches are more likely to survive and lay eggs. C. Shorter beaks are more efficient when different birds compete for nuts. D. Shorter beaks are better for eating nuts. Okay, you can choose up to 2, you can choose just one if you think just one's right. Up to 2 of those statements. We're not going to talk because this is just about your own thinking, and just write it on and don't show anyone yet. Okay, off you go. Okay, Shauna. Okay, fantastic. Right, we're going to move on to some activities then, depending on the answer that you've given. Who can tell me
what that part of my picture is? Jack?
Flower.
The flower. Okay, that is the flower. What do we call the bits that make up the flower? Do you know? It begins with a P. Logan. What are the pink bits? Each one of those pink
Petals.
petals. Yes, well done. The flower, and the flower is made up of lots of petals. Well done. What's this bit called?
Leaves.
Is that one leaf?
Two
Uh,
leaves.
Brilliant. Who can remember the rules? So if we have one leaf, we spell it with an F. But if we have more than one leaf, how do we say it?
We put a bar, air.
Yeah, you're
Sir.
right. Sir. Well, good teamwork, boys. Yeah, we change the ending, don't we? If it's a plural from a singular to a plural. Oh, I've got the plurals here because I've got leaves. What's this bit called? I'm going to ask you, Charlie.
Stem.
Stem. Brilliant. And finally, which bit haven't we labelled yet? Bonnie?
Root.
The roots.
I've already labelled the roots.
The
on my
roots.
map.
Now, people, I've got a challenge for you. I need to know what you know already and what you don't know. This is your opportunity. Now I'm going to show you 4 different options. It says, look at these statements about roots of plants. Which do you agree with? I want you to tell me which ones you agree with. And then you're going to write down 1, 2, 3 or 4, or 2 and 3, 3 and 4. You're going to choose the ones that you think are correct. Not the person next to you, only you, because I need to know what you think. Are you ready? So, which of these do you agree with? You have got 30 seconds to decide whether 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is it all 4? Is it one of those statements? Is it none of those statements? Is it 2 of those statements? Whatever you think, just write 1, 2, 3, 4 down for me. Which ones do you think? Are we ready? Okay. If you have chosen, and that's absolutely fine, if you have chosen a number 1, number 2, or number 3, you are going to stay with me for a minute. If you have chosen number 4, plants absorb water and minerals through their roots, I'm going to ask you to go with Mrs. Bayliss, because you are going to do a quick challenge for me on roots, because you are absolutely spot on. Plants absorb water and minerals through their roots.